evening and welcome to News Watch on Hope TV this Tuesday, the 18th day of May 2021. My name is Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let's get started. As two constituencies and a ward complete their by-election, IEBC officials have now embarked on vote counting in the various centers and are expected to announce the winners tonight in Bonchari, Juja constituencies and Rorie ward. The vote is in most polling centers in Bonchari, Kisii County was marred with low voter turnout as local politicians decried heavy police presence. In the Juja by-elections, the exercise was also marked by a low voter turnout amid calls by a section of leaders to extend the voting period. Jubilee candidate Susan Waitito decried the low voter turnout even as she hailed the enhanced security. Dickens Luvanda tells us more.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission organized parliamentary by-elections in Bonchari on Tuesday. So rival parties ODM, Jubilee Party and the United Democratic Alliance accuse each other of voter bribery.
I've come, I voted my voter here. There's nothing wrong. The police are around here. I don't know what they are doing outside, but in this polling station, there's no harassment. One of my key campaigner was arrested. The wife was arrested at the night when they did not get the man in the house, and that is what is worrying me.
Ninaweza kuwa mshindi siku ya leo, na nikiwa mshindi itakuwa ni furaha yangu sana. Hakuna ghasia yeyote ambao nimekumbana nayo. Lakini haya mengine ya uongo nimeshuhudia hata nikitoka hapo njiani, nimeona watu wamewekwa wakisema enda pigia fulani na wanapewa pesa hapo njiani. Lakini mimi ni mcha Mungu, sina haja ninunue kura. Kama watu wananipenda, watanipenda, na kama hawanipendi, siwashurutishi kunipenda. Nimekuja tu nimepiga kura yangu, na wale wawili watatu watapiga kura. Nitashukuru Mungu kwa sababu sitahesabiwa.
Police in Bonchari, Kisii County reportedly arrested several ODM MCAs supporting candidate Pavel Oimeke and an agent for the UDA candidate Teresa Bitutu over claims of voter bribery.
And I also want to really condemn the strongest term possible the heavy presence of security forces within Bonchari. We are seeing a lot of DSU, we are seeing a lot of policemen, and there's been a lot of harassment of my agents. My agent in Nyamare primary has just been arrested.
ODM also accused the Jubilee Party of voter bribery by staging agents in some of the polling stations to dish out money to voters in favor of its candidate, Zebedeo Oporem.
Ameshinda kipeana pesa. Unapeana pesa. Na nimekuangalia sana ukipeana pesa.
ODM confirmed the arrest of Rihanna MCA Vincent Moisabi alongside nominated MCAs Jen Justine and Rispa Kemuntu, the Kisii County Assembly Deputy Minority Leader, in a letter that complained of police harassment and intimidation to the IEBC.
We also have had a case where one Honorable Vincent Moisabi has just been arrested for no good reason. He's just being held by the CAD in the Soso, which is not acceptable. I don't know what the object of this is actually to intimidate the voters so that they cannot come out and vote. And therefore, I'm urging the IBC, we won't see your face, we won't see your force, where you're going to maintain peace and order.
The National Police Service, through Deputy Inspector General Edward Mbugua, however dismissed the allegations, saying that the police were in Bonchari to facilitate a smooth voting process.
Uchaguzi ambao unaendelea utamalizika kwa haki, na leo hatujaona zile line kubwa za watu wa kupiga kura. Kwa hivyo tungewaomba wakaaji wa Juja musiwe na wasiwasi, security iko sawa.
In Juja parliamentary mini polls, polling stations were marked by a low voter turnout amid calls by a section of leaders to extend the voting period.
Suruhu ni kwa wananchi wenyewe. Hii nafasi yenu kuchukua hii nafasi kusuluhisha mashida yenu. Hakuna maana kulalamika kwa upande moja juu ya hizi mashida, na wakati tunapewa nafasi ya kupiga kura hatujitokezi kupiga. Hii masaa imebaki, hakuna vurugu, hakuna fujo. Usalama ni wa hali ya juu kabisa. IBC inafanya kazi yake, polisi wanafanya kazi yake, wakuje hapa ndio wachukue nafasi ya kihistoria.
In fact, somebody is not even taking 3 minutes because everything is moving very smoothly, and we thank the IEBC for that kind of organization.
Leader mwenye tutachagua ndio ataokoa Juja. Juu tukifuata watu juu ya pesa ama nini, tutakuwa tumepotea.
In Ruri ward of Nyandarua County, just like what was witnessed in Bonchari, decried arrests and bribery of electorates, saying some of the Nyandarua CECs camped in various polling stations, bribing voters to cast their votes in favor of his Jubilee counterpart Peter Dhinji claims that Dhinji dismissed.
Kuna watu ambao wanatumiwa na serikali ya kaunti ya Nyandarua kwa kupeana pesa kuwahonga wananchi, na ni vibaya sana. Naona ma-CEC, ma-ministers wako hapa ground wanapea watu pesa, na ni vibaya sana.
Nothing like that. That is not true.
Results of the by-elections, which ended at 5 p.m, are expected to be announced by the IEBC by Wednesday, May 19th. Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV News Watch.
Thank you, Dickens, for that report. Now, Wajir Deputy Governor Ahmed Ali Mukhtar has been sworn in as the third governor of Wajir County following the Senate's move to uphold the impeachment of Mohamed Abdi Mohamud. Mukhtar was sworn in at the Wajir County headquarters by Justice Said Chitembwe after the gazettement of Mohamud's impeachment by Senate Speaker Ken Lusaka. This as the Meru High Court has issued an injunction against the swearing-in of Mukhtar Ali as governor of Wajir County after the impeachment of Governor Mohamed Mohamud by the Senate yesterday. The court issued the ruling pending the hearing and determination of a petition challenging the governor's impeachment. According to the judgment issued by Justice P.J. Otieno, the registrar of the judiciary, Ann Hamadi, has been barred from assigning a judge to swear in Mukhtar as Wajir governor. The ousted governor, Mohamed's lawyer, Ndegwa Njiru, who spoke to the media after the swearing-in of Mukhtar, said the court has issued about 5 orders in regard to the swearing-in of Mukhtar Ali. Dolly Murigi now reports.
In the office of the governor
of Wajir County.
Ahmed Ali Mukhtar was on Tuesday sworn in as the third governor of Wajir County after the Senate gazetted the impeachment of former county boss Mohamed Abdi Mohamud. The swearing-in ceremony took place at the Wajir County headquarters as he was sworn in by High Court Judge Justice Said Chitembwe. In his first speech after taking oath of office, Ali Mukhtar said he will prioritize water, health and education sectors in his administration.
To this end, I commit myself to prioritize enhanced services, especially in the critical sectors of health, water and education. My pledge of services will be premised on objectivity and professionalism, and I therefore appeal to your undivided support.
The new governor also pledged to uphold the unity of the people of Wajir and help resolve the health crisis in the county. Health workers have been on strike for the last 1 week.
I shall desist elements of hate, nepotism and skewed resource allocation that will destroy our harmony and erode the people's confidence on our services. At this juncture, I appeal to all the leaders and people of Wajir County to support my government, strengthen our historical and rich bond as Wajir people.
On Monday, 25 senators out of 47 voted for the Governor Mohamud ouster after he was found guilty of gross violation of the Constitution. 2 senators opposed impeachment, while 4 abstained the vote.
The Senate has resolved to remove from office by impeachment Honorable Mohamed Abdi Mohamud, Governor of Wajir County. The Governor accordingly ceases to hold office.
A special committee of the Senate, which investigated charges leveled against the governor by members of the county assembly, had found him culpable and recommended his ouster for gross violation of the Constitution. The MCAs had leveled 2 charges against the governor, supported by a total of 17 allegations. According to the MCAs, despite allocating 2.4 billion Kenya shillings to the Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation in the 2018-2019, 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 financial years, health facilities were in deplorable state. In his defense, the governor denied that healthcare in Wajir had suffered under his leadership, adding that the allegation leveled against him did not meet the threshold of impeachment.
Sisi yote ni watu Wajir, na tunataka uzuri kwa watu Wajir. Tunataka umoja ya Wajir. Tunataka uzuri ya Wajir. Tafadhalini sana na waomba watu wasiongee mbaya, watu wasipige kelele, watu wasirukeruke sana.
We bought also some ambulances, and right now as we talk, we have 16 ambulances that are operational. We repaired those ones that were old. We repaired them. We purchased the 3. We were given 2 by the national government and 1 by IGAD.
The Wajir governor is the third county boss to face a successful impeachment since the 2017 elections after Mike Sonko of Nairobi and Ferdinand Wetitu of Kiambu. Dolly Wirigi for Hope TV News Watch.
Much appreciated, Dolly. Now the selection panel for the appointment of commissioners of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC commissioners, say it has received over 700 applications for the 4 vacancies of the IEBC commissioners. The panel chairperson, Dr. Elizabeth Muli, addressing the press on Tuesday, said the deadline for receiving applications was on Monday. The selection panel will now proceed to collate the applications before publishing the names on Monday next week. Here's Alice Diana with the details.
Over 700 Kenyans have expressed interest in filling the vacant post of 4 IEBC commissioners following the resignation of the previous office holders during and after the 2017 general elections. The placement of an advertisement calling for interested applicants was gazetted on May 1st, with the deadline ending on Monday this week. The panel chairperson Elizabeth Muli on Tuesday said the commission will publish all the names of the applicants on Monday next week, together with their qualifications for public scrutiny.
Pursuant to the provisions of paragraph 3.1 of the first schedule to the IEBC Act 2021, the selection panel shall publish the names of all the applicants whose applications were received by the close of the application period, together with their qualifications, in the Kenya Gazette, in 2 newspapers of national circulation, and on the website of the Parliamentary Service Commission.
Muli noted that after the publication of the long list, the selection panel will commence the shortlisting exercise and will thereafter publish the names of the shortlisted candidates.
In this publication, the selection panel shall also invite the views of the public on the suitability of the shortlisted candidates to serve in the position of member of IEBC.
The panel is expected to forward the name of the successful candidate to the president on or before June 9th for appointment. President Uhuru Kenyatta declared the IEBC vacancies on April 14th after the resignation of Roslina Kombe, Connie Nkatha, Margaret Mwachanya and Paul Kurgat. The commission currently has 3 commissioners who include Chairman Wafula Chebukati, Commissioners Boya Molu and Abdi Gulie. Section 6, Sub-Article 2 of the IEBC Act dictates that a person is qualified as a member of the commission if such a person has proven relevant experience in electoral matters, management, finance, governance, public finance and administration, law, and meets the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. The entire leadership formation of the IEBC is to be intact 1 year before the next general election. For Hope TV News Watch, I'm Alice Diana.
Thank you, Alice. To BBI Politics, Deputy President William Ruto says the country's leadership should ensure unity of all Kenyans and put the interest of Kenyans first. The Deputy President said the country is facing serious challenges that needed to be addressed by all, as he urged politicians to embrace issue-based political competition to avoid dividing the country. Ruto was speaking when he met former councillors from Kajiado County to discuss the bottom-up economic model at his current residence in Nairobi County. MPs Kato Olemetito, George Sankuya, Aisha Jumwa and Kimani Ngunjiri were also present, where they hailed the High Court for its anti-BBI ruling.
Jinamizi la BBI. Mimi Aisha Jumwa, jameni, kama kuna siku nililala kama mtoto mchanga, ni hiyo siku ya Alhamisi. Tunamshukuru Mungu na tunamuomba Mungu anayeishi na anayeweza. Wengine wakisema wana uwezo, sisi tunasema watu wakiita baba zao kule, sisi tunamuita baba yetu aliye mbinguni na anaweza.
Juzi BBI ilikuja na ikaja parliament. Na sisi wabunge kama ilikuwa ni ya kura ya yes ya ambaye ile timu nyingine alikuwa anataka, alafu ya Ruto ndio ilikuwa no, hiyo ni ya watu wengine. In fact wale walipiga no 83, alafu unasema hao ndio walikuwa ni wabunge. Hapana, tuko 160 something watu wa Ruto. Ruto hakusema kwenda piga yes, piga no. Nani alisikia? Ni nani alisikia?
I want to persuade leaders in our nation that there is and there exists a real possibility for all of us to come together and to hammer out an agreement that is not selfish, an agreement that brings everybody on board and creates a path for Kenyans to work together. Even as they compete, they should compete about issues and not tribes and ethnicities and things that divide us. So, mimi nawauliza kwa unyenyekevu, tafadhali. Jameni, nyinyi ni viongozi, si ni kweli? Na nyinyi ni viongozi ambao mna uzoefu kule mashinani, mnaelewa ni nini tunafanya, na mtusaidie hata sisi. Unajua hata mtu ukiwa kiongozi katika kiwango fulani, it doesn't mean you have answers to all questions. You can still be helped. Tunaelewana? Ile mimi nawaomba msikubali tugawanywe, ati tupelekwe kwa makabila, ati tuwekwe chuki, ati hiyo safari mimi na rais tulikataa. So mniite. Tukuje tujenge pamoja.
Church leaders in the North Coast region have called on the government to declare religious leaders as essential service providers in the fight against COVID-19. The church leaders from various Christian denominations said religious leaders provide spiritual and psychological counseling to persons affected by the pandemic, and hence their exclusion in the list of essential service providers was an error. They asked the government to allow them to operate even during curfew hours to enable them to serve their members better, as the pandemic had caused a lot of stress in families, leading to conflicts that sometimes erupt at night, requiring urgent intervention by spiritual leaders.
Sababu ya kwanza ni kwamba asili ya binadamu ni mtu wa imani. Asili ya binadamu, essential nature ya human being ni kwamba anamtambua uwemo wa Mungu. Na hata katiba yetu katika preamble inaanza hivyo kwamba sisi kama taifa tunatambua mamlaka ya Mwenyezi Mungu na kwamba taifa letu liko chini ya Mungu. Sasa kukija masuala ya COVID, utakuta kwamba idara mbalimbali kama ni security imeorodheshwa kama essential. Madaktari essential. Unaona? In some cases sasa transport is essential. Lakini dini ambayo ndio kama uti wa mgongo wa binadamu na jamii, kwa nini imewekwa pembeni? Na ndio maana tukasema hili swala tunaomba serikali ilifikirie sana. Kwa sababu kulingana na sisi viongozi wa dini wangerudi nyuma kidogo, waachilie serikali kusuluhisha tatizo hili, hawangeweza. Na ndio maana hata hatimaye serikali yenyewe iliita viongozi wa interfaith wakawakabidhi jukumu hili, because sisi tuna ready-made audience almost once a week, na wale they are voluntary audience, si wale ambao wanahongwa na pesa ndio waje kusikiliza mtu akizungumza. Na kwa hivyo tunapopitisha ujumbe na umepitishwa na kiongozi ambaye anaaminiwa na jamii, jamii inamsikiliza zaidi kuliko hata mwanasiasa.
Mimi ninazidi kusimama pamoja na ule mwito umetolewa na askofu, baba askofu, ya kwamba serikali iweze kuorodhesha masuala ya dini, viongozi wa kidini kwamba wanafanya kazi zilizo muhimu, na isichukue kwamba mpaka mchungaji azunguke kwenda tafuta, wapewe automatically vibali vile vya kuwa wanaweza kufanya kazi kwa masaa 24 bila pingamizi yoyote. Manake kazi zetu sisi twafanya 24 hours, twaomba 24 hours, twasaidia masaa yote. Kwa hivyo serikali, kila mchungaji apewe nafasi ya yeye kuhudumu, kusaidia wananchi.
Taking a look at COVID-19 numbers today, 469 people have tested positive to the disease from a sample size of 6,244 tested in the last 24 hours. The positivity rate is now 7.5%. Total confirmed positive cases are now 166,006, and cumulative tests so far conducted at 1,752,693. 43 patients have recovered from the disease, 29 from the home-based and isolation care, while 14 are from various health facilities countrywide. Total recoveries now stand at 113,917. Sadly, 8 deaths have been reported in the last 24 hours, 3 of them having occurred on diverse dates within the last 1 month, while 5 are from reports of facility audit records conducted in the last 1 month, pushing the cumulative fatalities to 3,021. 1,039 patients are currently admitted in various health facilities countrywide, while 4,714 patients are on home-based isolation and care. 108 patients are in the ICU, 22 of whom are on ventilatory support and 71 on supplemental oxygen. 15 patients are under observation. Let's take our first commercial break on News Watch tonight. Thank you for watching. We'll be back shortly.
Join us every Sunday for unlimited, uplifting, powerful worship, only on Extended Worship.
Join John Cousin every weekday as he takes us on a journey through the Bible.
Whoever shall seek to save his life, if you go back to living for yourself, you're going to lose it. But whoever shall lose his life, give up his life for my sake, he shall preserve it.
Enjoy interesting, knowledge-packed, yet simple teachings through his humor and in-depth understanding of God's Word.
The last people that tried to put God in a box, literally, he rose again. He wouldn't stay in their compartment. If God was small enough for me to figure out, he wouldn't be big enough for me to worship.
Tune in to Hope TV for John Cousin every 10 p.m., 4 a.m., and 10 a.m. weekdays on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Our Christian life is not just about God always stepping in when you are in trouble. But sometimes you need to go through the valley of the shadow of death, and God will say, angels, stand away. He must go through that. She must go through that. Because out of this would come something greater and more beautiful.
Glad you're still with us. Welcome back. The county government of Samburu says it will work round the clock to address conflicts between owners of group ranches and the Kenya Forest Service. Governor Moses Lenol Kulal said his administration will ensure boundaries of forests are clearly marked to eradicate boundary disputes. The governor was speaking when he presided over the swearing-in ceremony of the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development, Peinan Leronyokwe in Mararal. Before her nomination as a CEC member, Peinan was Samburu County Director for Legal Affairs.
And first office for 3 Mararal. Having been appointed as a member for Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development.
Having been appointed as a member for Land, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development.
Now we are having a new CC. We'll have a brief remark. Then
Of course, we have disputes, as already indicated. I'm quite certain also with a legal background, you'll work on these disputes diligently. Our major problem again is additional infrastructure in Marala, and we've been saying this all along. Issues to do with sewerage particularly is a major challenge. As indicated, Marala is growing, and as we grow, equally our needs grow. Of course, we're also working closely with the Ministry of Lands, National Government, on ascertaining the forest boundaries to ensure that we bring the conflict between adjoining group ranches and the Kenya Forest Service to an end.
Juakali artisans in Taita Taveta have lamented over the high cost of living resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. Dealers in sector say the increase in petrol prices has also worsened the situation and have now asked the national government to consider lowering pump prices for an affordable cost of living.
Uchumi Kenya tunaporomoka sana. Maana nasikia Tanzania mafuta yako chini, Uganda mafuta yako chini, lakini tunashindwa Kenya mafuta yanapitia Kenya ikienda Uganda. Lakini bado sisi wa Kenya hapa tutateseka.
Kazi yangu nilikuwa mimi ni mechanic. So unajua mechanic wao lazima watumie kama mafuta kwa gari kutest. Yeah. Na gari wajua mpaka zifanye kazi ndo at least gari ikuwe iko na shida. So gari kiyo kwa parking haijaenda kazi na hakuna mafuta, sababu hakuna mafuta hata haiwezi ya kuharibika na gari haiwezi kuja gereji.
Kitambo tulikuwa tunaweza shinda upate utoke na 1000. Siku hizo waweza shinda bure. Hakuna kitu. Upande mwingine mafuta. Kama tuko na pikipiki ya kupeleka nyumbani, so umeshinda bure. Pikipiki enda mafuta.
Hapo mbeleni biashara ilikuwa nzuri, kama kwa siku huwezi kosa kuuza zaidi. Target yako ilikuwa inafika. Lakini kwa sasa hivi janga la corona limetuadhiri kwamba hatuna customers. Na ile movement pia, restriction, watu hawezi tembea kaunti nyingine hadi nyingine. Pia imetupunguzia watu wenye wanakuja sehemu ya
3 farmers, among them a ward representative, were arraigned in court after being accused of several counts, including incitement of violence, interfering with the Kenya Revenue Authority seals for maize seized by police at Guki Pimo Trading Center, malicious damage to property and resisting arrest by police. The three were arrested by police on 13th May 2021 for the above accounts, and they claimed the police interfered with the maize stored, accusing the police of malicious actions. They want relevant authorities and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to investigate the matter and make their findings public.
Lakini ambacho naongelea ni wale watu katika statement yangu niliandika kwamba serikali wale watu watetezi wa haki ya binadamu, kwa sababu mnyonge hana haki. Wale watu wapate kutibiwa na wapate kama itawezekana wale waliopiga marisasi, kwa sababu mko na video inaonyesha wakamatwe, kwa sababu sheria ni msimeno kata pande na pande.
Mimi kwa kweli, kuna wakulima walikuwa wamelima mahindi yao na walikuwa wametunza, baadaye wakafahamiwa na serikali kwamba mahindi hayo ni kwamba yana ugonjwa, lakini walipofika hapo walianza kusumbuana na wananchi wa hapo, wakaanza kuwafuatilia marisasi na kuanza kuwafukuza. Kwa hivyo sisi tukiwa kama wakulima wa area hiyo ya kipimo, tunaomba serikali itusaidie.
Uasin Gishu County Governor Jackson Mandago earlier today hosted Pakistan High Commissioner to Kenya, Sakleen Sida, who paid him a courtesy call. During the meeting, the governor discussed a number of potential partnership areas between the county governments, Uasin Gishu and Pakistan. Among the partnership areas Mandago said was how to enable agricultural products like coffee and avocado from the county to find a market in Pakistan. The governor also noted that with Pakistan being among the biggest manufacturers of pharmaceuticals, those in value industry can also seek to have partnerships with private investors in such areas. The Pakistan envoy, on her part, agreed with the governor on the need to explore partnership areas in agricultural implements and other production in the agricultural sector.
First, we want to thank the Ministry of Agriculture through AFA for making this visit possible and enabling us to share and discuss areas that can improve our economy as a county. Of particular interest is the avocado farming, coffee and macadamia, where as a county, that is our center of promotion in terms of agriculture, and we are fortunate to learn that indeed the products we are promoting as county government has already market in Pakistan. We are also looking at the pharmaceutical industry, as we are all aware that Pakistan is among the leading countries in the manufacture of drugs, in the manufacture of non-pharmaceuticals, and there is opportunity for production in the county. We shall be asking those in that industry from this county, working with our Department of Trade in the county, to begin discussions on how that can be furthered, so that instead of importing finished products from Pakistan, we can have private investors in Pakistan partnering with our local investors here and actually doing production.
I think we need to explore other areas in the agriculture production also, in processing, in growing, in having joint ventures, not only in food crops but also in cash crops and agriculture implements. Also, like, you know, having some kind of an ingress in the value chain of whether it's production in agriculture or industries would help both countries, because we are both developing countries, and I think we need to have that collaboration for greater opportunities of employment and training. We have also discussed other important sectors which are not only important to this county but also to the other counties in the Northern Rift. So I think we would be working on them, and I'll be engaging with all the commercial industrial secretaries over here and the governors and the counties so that we can work together in this area.
And internationally, following up on about a week of fighting, there is no end in sight to the deadly violence between Israel and militants in Gaza. Israeli forces today fired stun grenades to disperse protesters gathering in solidarity with the Gaza Strip at Damascus Gate in the old city of Jerusalem. Ceasefire appeals continue to go unheeded, and residents of Gaza experienced the heaviest bombardment by the Israeli army since hostilities erupted. Israel says it destroyed tunnels used by militants and the homes of Hamas commanders. Israel is stepping up airstrikes on Gaza in response to attacks by Palestinian militants. Nearly 200 people, mainly Palestinians, have been killed as the conflict enters a second week. Hassam Abu Habib, a top commander with the Islamic Jihad militant group in Gaza, has reportedly been killed in an Israeli airstrike. Egypt says it is providing $500 million in aid to help rebuilding efforts in Gaza following the destruction of infrastructure in the territory. At least 6,000 migrants have reached Spain's Ceuta enclave from neighboring Morocco, a record number over a single day, according to Spanish officials. The migrants, who include about 1,500 miners, either swam around the border fences that jumped out into the sea or walked across at low tide. They are said to be mostly from Morocco. Spain says it has already sent home 2,700 back, except for the miners. Spain's Ceuta and Melilla enclaves have become magnets for African migrants. Spanish troops have been deployed to the beach to help border police at Ceuta's main entry point, Tarajal, on the enclave's south side. The influx comes amid renewed tension over Western Sahara, a territory occupied by Spain until 1975, when Morocco annexed it. And in Sudan, Sudan can now sigh of relief after IMF member counties agreed to clear Sudan's arrest to the institution, to the institution, as France's president said yesterday. This removes a final hurdle to the African nation getting wider relief on external debt of at least $50 billion. Hosting a conference for Sudan in Paris, French President Emmanuel Macron also kick-started the broader debt relief effort, saying his country was in favor of fully cancelling the $5 billion it is owed by Khartoum. Sudan is emerging from decades of economic sanctions and isolation under ousted former President Omar al-Badri. It had built up huge arrears on its debt, but has made rapid progress towards having much of it forgiven under the IMF and World Bank's highly indebted poor countries scheme, which would reopen access to badly needed cheap international financing. On that note, let's take our second commercial break on Newswatch tonight. Stay with us for business and sports news coming up.
Welcome to Activate.
It's a good morning! Good morning!
Kickstart your day with George and Kerry on the Sweet Hour of Prayer.
And welcome to Activate, this being the station where you listen and live Hope FM.
From Nairobi to the world.
Great music just for you.
Activate.
The only show that keeps you activated!
Yes, indeed.
Activate. Every weekday morning from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Only on Hope FM, where you listen and live.
The shortest chapter in the Bible is Psalm 117, which says, "The Lord's truth endures forever." Now, that word truth in the Hebrew language is emeth, and the Jewish scholars and doctors tell us that that word's really interesting because it contains the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, the middle letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Mem, and the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is Tau. And they say that's because the Alpha and Omega has a truth that is our comfort all in all from A to Z. In the same way, the Bible says that God is the author and the finisher of our faith. Paul said, "He who began a good work in you will be faithful to finish it." Now, that word for finish or complete is the word telestai in Greek, the same word that Jesus used on the cross when he said, "Te telestai," it is finished. Paul hijacked that word and was saying, as surely as Jesus carried his cross to completion, so too the Alpha and Omega will telestai, finish the work that he's begun in you. God is not just somebody who starts a project, he's somebody who finishes it to perfection. He's faithful all in all from A to Z, the Alpha and the Omega.
Our Christian life is not just about God always stepping in when you are in trouble. But sometimes you need to go through the valley of the shadow of death, and God will say, angels, stand away. He must go through that. She must go through that. Because out of this would come something greater and more beautiful.
Welcome back. In business, the Kenya Ports Authority KPA will on Thursday launch the newly built multi-billion shillings Lamu Seaport, dubbed Lamu South Sudan Ethiopia Transport LAPSSET Corridor. The port is expected to transform regional economies through increased trade, integration and interconnectivity spanning South Sudan and landlocked Ethiopia, according to the Kenya Ports Authority Acting Managing Director Engineer Rashid Salim. KPA has already sent to Lamu crucial marine equipment for handling cargo transfer to ships, barges and trucks as the new port prepares to handle international shipments. Mark Kimondo now reports.
The newly built port of Lamu, named Lamu South Sudan Ethiopia Transport LAPSSET Corridor, will receive its maiden cargo vessel on May 20, 2021, when operations officially kick off at the mega port.
Thing with the Lamu port, it's a bigger port. The quay sides are actually 400 meters against 300 meters that we have here. The depth is minus 17.5 against 15 meters, which is at the port of Mombasa. So in that stead, we can actually take post-Panamax ships, bigger ships. Bigger ships means bigger volumes of cargo coming in. There's economies of scale. And so it will not be a competition exactly with the Mombasa port. We intend to we're marketing it at the end of the day.
LAPSSET is a crucial Kenya Vision 2030 flagship project and is expected to transform regional economies through increased trade, integration and interconnectivity spanning South Sudan and landlocked Ethiopia.
We intend to deal with especially the northern corridor. Our partner states in the north at South Sudan, Ethiopia, because Ethiopia cargo actually goes through Djibouti, 80%. So we want especially to be able to trade especially with the south of Ethiopia.
Kenya Ports Authority Acting Managing Director Engineer Rashid Salim says it's a step closer to the new port's vision of becoming a regional transshipment hub for bulk business. Larger container ships will be plying the country's second commercial seaport developed by the China Communications Construction Company. Already crucial equipment like rubber-tired countries, load trailers, extension cargo handlers, tugboats and trailers are already at the port site.
And at the moment we have done about 89% of the work. The work consists of 3 berths. Each one is 400 meters. So we have a total key length of 1.2 kilometer. And then the berths are minus 17.5 and the channel width is 500 meters. This when you compare to Mombasa, the deepest berth is minus 15 meters and the channel width is 300 meters.
However, there will be no competition between Mombasa Port and the brand new Lamu Port, since each will in the long run have its own trade routes to serve. The newly constructed port has capabilities to handle post-Panamax ships from the international shipping lines that ply the Indian Ocean, the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. Meanwhile, KPA is working closely with the Kenya Revenue Authority and other relevant state agencies to work out modalities of offering incentives. The Lamu port has the capacity to handle jumbo-sized ships with carrying capacity of between 12,000 to 18,000 foot equivalent unit ships. Once the commissioning and testing operations of the new Lamu port is done, KPA will send a high-level delegation to South Sudan and Ethiopia to market the ultra-modern, state-of-the-art facility. The new transport corridor seeks to link the modern port of Lamu with Garissa, Isiolo, Maralal, Lodwar and Lokichogyo, and branching at Isiolo to Moyale at the border with Ethiopia and proceeding to the border with South Sudan. Mark Kimondo for Newswatch, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mark. And Kenyan's integrated agribusiness firm Kakuzi PLC has confirmed plans to strengthen its avocado smallholder base as part of a shared prosperity business plan. Alongside the smallholder development plans, the firm is focusing on agricultural production, expansion and diversification projects for its macadamia, blueberry, livestock and commercial forestry business lines. Speaking during the Nairobi Securities Exchange NSE-listed firm's 93rd annual general meeting held virtually, Kakuzi PLC chairman Nicholas Ng'ang'a said the firm will this year invest more than 400 million shillings in capital expenditures while focusing on upscaling its shareholder operations value to complement its production capacities and boost the global positioning of Kenyan avocados. At the AGM, the firm's shareholders unanimously voted for 18 shillings dividends per share, representing a 28.5% growth from the 14 shillings dividends paid out the previous year. The county government of Uasin Gishu has embarked on an exercise aimed at re-engineering the cooperative societies in an attempt to attract young people. County Executive Committee members for Enterprise Development and Cooperative Esther Mutai says the process of re-engineering is a 9-step exercise that will start with a baseline survey of 60 pilot cooperatives focusing on how to come up with strategic plans, holding stakeholder forums, membership outreach, and capital mobilization. The CECM noted that the process will also involve the development of policies and training that will include digitization of farmer cooperatives operations, and help them create products that appeal to the youth.
It is the organizations to repackage themselves to attract the young person. And if we don't do that, I can assure you these institutions we are calling farmers cooperatives will be obsolete in the next 10 years. That is my own impression. And therefore, as a department, we have decided that for us to attract the youth, we must re-engineer these cooperatives. And the process of re-engineering is a very serious and tedious exercise that we are engaging in right now as a department.
In sports, Mathare United have fired head coach Salim Ali after a spate of poor results that have seen the side remain pegged bottom of the standings after 15 rounds of matches. The Slum Boys have since appointed Frank Ouna with immediate effect till the end of the season. The Football Kenya Federation, FKF, has agreed that the team, which will top the Premier League standings by June 30th, will represent Kenya in the 2021-2022 CAF Champions League. And Chelsea take on Leicester City at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League tonight, with both sides looking to increase their chances of finishing in the top 4 of the table in order to qualify for next season's Champions League. This and more in our Sports Roundup with Joseph Maingi.
Former Gor Mahia assistant coach Frank Ouna is set to take over as Mathare United tactician after the sacking of Salim Ali. Ali has parted with the Slum Boys after his almost 3-year contract tenure ended yesterday as the head coach. 44-year-old Ouna will bring with him a wealth of experience on the top flight experience, having been involved in the technical bench for Premier League sides title winners Gor Mahia and Sofapaka. Ouna has also served as the assistant head coach for the national soccer team Harambee Stars. Mathare is at the risk of being relegated at the end of the 2021 Kenya Premier League season after failing to win their 14 matches of the campaign as the local football league resumed over the weekend under strict COVID-19 protocols. Mathare played out to a 0-0 draw with Vihiga United, a result that has left them bottom of the league standing with 7 points. Ouna's first match in charge of the Slum Boys will be tomorrow against the bankers KCB, who are chasing this season's title. Remaining in the local scene, in the English Premier League, Chelsea will host Leicester City at the Stamford Bridge in the Premier League this evening, with both sides hoping to increase their chances of the top 4 finish. Chelsea want to revenge the losing out in the FA after the Blues lost the title for the second time running in the finals. In the other fixture, Manchester United will be looking to return to winning ways in the Premier League when they welcome already relegated Fulham to the Old Trafford after suffering 2 defeats in their last 2 fixtures against Leicester and Liverpool. Meanwhile, Brighton Hove Albion take on Manchester City in the Premier League, with the citizens looking to build up momentum ahead of their Champions League final clash against Chelsea towards the end of this month on the 29th. And finally, Southampton welcome Leeds United to the St. Mary's as both sides look to build up back-to-back Premier League victories after the host picked up a 3-1 victory over already relegated Fulham, while Leeds thrashed Burnley 4-0 away to maintain their position in the top half. Well, that's your sports. I'm Joseph Maingi.
And that's all we had for you on Newswatch tonight. Thank you for your valuable company. My name is Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Have a good night. God bless you. Wanda, nani amefanya hiyo kazi ya kuchukua